So, good morning, everyone. From today, we shall start the fifth module. It deals with IoT physical devices and endpoints. So, in this module, we will be studying two IoT physical devices, Arduino and Raspberry Pi. And later, we shall see how to design a smart city using these IoT devices. So, every one of us uh, will have a dream to have our own computer. So, this is a customized computer which behaves according to our requirement. But the problem is, most of us fail to do so because we never understand what actually is inside a computer and how to provide the inputs, process it, and to extract the required output from that computer. So one of the major problem which we have is we will have our own desktop or laptop systems. We install the operating system and then we will download the required softwares, install them and start using them. But we actually never know how CPU will work, how CPU is getting the inputs, and how it is producing the required output. Because all those things are hidden from the end user. So that is one major hurdle uh, which makes us to think it is very hard to build or have our own computer. And the second thing is uh, not exposed ourselves to the practical programming. So we read lot of manuals, we by heart the programs which is required in the for the examinations, but we never think beyond our curriculum to know what is required to build a system. So, and the third um, problem associated with this is we are always scared to work on hardware devices because both the hardware devices are expensive, and also if anything goes wrong, then it will burn out. If there is a voltage fluctuations, it will cause permanent damage to the hardware. So due to these three factors, normally people refrain from using the hardware that is required to build a computer. So but still there is a chance to build our own computer, and that dream will happen with using of Arduino and Raspberry Pi boards. So first let us study what is Arduino. So Arduino is a open source electronics platform. So that is easy to use hardware and software. So within this, we will be studying the Arduino Uno board, that is UNO, that is called as Arduino Uno. So Arduino boards are able to read the input. For example, an input can come from any sensor. It may be a light on a sensor, a finger on a button, that is a touch sensitive buttons, or it may be a message, or it may be a motion detection, maybe a temperature value, anything. So boards are capable of reading the value of any sensor connected to it. And later on, using that input, it can produce the output. For example, it can start a motor, it can turn on a LED, it can also send a message, it can make a call, it can send an email. So it can do anything. So if we look at the Arduino UNO board, So it is a microcontroller on board that uses 80 mega 328 processor. Arduino Uno has 14 input and output pins, so out of which 6 can be used as PWM outputs. So there were 6 analog inputs. There is a 16 megahertz quartz crystal to generate the clocks, a USB connection, a power port. It also has a ICSP header and a reset button. So here UNO means it is meaning is one in Italian, and was chosen to mark the release of Arduino software IDE. So the Uno board and version 1.0 of Arduino software IDE were references versions of Arduino. So now many versions have evolved later. So Arduino comes with its own IDE, that is integrated development environment, which has a compiler, editor, then compiler, then finally dumping the binary code onto the device itself. So all those things are integrated together in an IDE. So this is a sample Arduino board. So you can observe the IC that is present over here, that is the 8, that is a processor, and then various pins are available. So reset button is there, then USB connection, analog input pins are there, ground pin is there, then input voltages can be given to 5 volts, 3.3 volts, reset pin is there. So all the hardwares that are required is present on this single board. So the various components include the reset button. So this will restart any code that is being loaded in the Arduino board. So AREF, so that stands for analog reference. So it is used to set an external reference voltage. So this reference voltage is useful in comparing the entities. So ground pin, so just like in the hardware lab, we have used the ground pin in our analog and digital circuits. So in similar way, the ground pin is present in this board. Then digital input and outputs are there. So pin number 0 to 13 can be used as either an input or an output, but the input and output here will be in the digital format. So maybe binaries, 0 ones, like that. So PWM, so these pins are marked with a tilde symbol. So and they can simulate the analog output. So USB connection is used to power the entire Arduino board, and it is also used to upload the sketches. So here the sketches is nothing but a program. So once we write a program, that program after compilation, so the binary codes should be burned into the Arduino board. So that is also called as a uploading. So whatever program we dump, that will keep on executing in the Arduino. Then TX and RX, that is the transmit and receive LEDs for indication purpose. Then 80 mega microcontroller, that is the 8th component. So it is that microcontroller that acts as a brain of the CPU. It is where the programs are stored. Then we had a power LED indicator. So this is a LED that can light up anytime on the board when a power source is connected. Then we have voltage regulator. So this controls the amount of voltage going on into the Arduino board. Then we have DC barrel jack. So this is used to power the Arduino with the DC power supply. Then we have 3.3 voltage pin, then 5 volts pin. So these pins are useful according to the application which we develop. Then we have analog pins. So these pins can read the signal from an analog sensor and convert it into a digital value. So for example, if we have a temperature, so that particular sensor will send the analog value that will be converted into a digital value, similar to whatever we need, like in degree centigrade or Fahrenheit. So all those conversion will happen. And if we have a motion sensor, again it will generate the analog input and it gets converted into digital values in terms of x, y, and z positions. So these are the components that are present on a Arduino board. So next we shall see the fundamentals of Arduino programming. So in order how to write a program method in order to develop our own applications. So before developing any applications, we must collect the required sensors. So go through their inputs, collect the actuators that are required for our applications. Then we must properly understand how those sensors or actuators will work. So what kind of inputs they will produce, how to drive a actuator. So after noting all of them, next we shall look into the programming that is required. So and one more thing here is, so the number of devices that we can connect to any IoT board, maybe Arduino or Raspberry Pi. So there is a limitation. So we can connect only those many devices based on the number of input and the output ports supported by that particular board. And also few of the components or few of the sensors require additional circuitry. For example, if you want to connect a Wi-Fi module, so Wi-Fi module can be used to connect to internet or for any sort of communication. So Wi-Fi module may be separate in some of the IoT components. In few of the modules, there is inbuilt. So additional things that are required, they also have to be collected. Maybe a Bluetooth module. If you want to send an SMS or to make a call or receive a SMS, we will be requiring a GSM module. So GSM module is similar to the module that is present in our cell phone. So we can insert our SIM card, and through the program we can send a SMS. Also we can receive the SMSs, read the contents. So all of them. So depending on the application, whatever modules or sensors that are required, so we have to gather them. So these GSM, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth are the additional circuitry that has to be added to Arduino. So all those things are called as modules. Whereas the temperature sensor, gas sensor, motion sensor, so all those are a very small devices. So they can be integrated. So they are called as not modules but sensors directly because they doesn't need additional circuitry and power options. So coming back to the programming, so two functions or subroutines are required. So one is the setup, another one is the loop. So the setup function will run only once. When a program starts, it will run one time. But the loop function will keep on repeating. For example, if we are developing a motion sensor application, so once we start the application, it will keep tracking all the motion events that will be happening in that area. So which means it is a continuous. So we are all aware in programming terminologies, a program will start, it will execute the statements, and after completing, it will terminate. But here we need an application that will never terminate, which means some looping mechanism should be there. So by default in Arduino, such infinite looping is provided by using a built-in method, that is loop. So whatever we write inside a loop, that will keep on executing. For example, if we want to read the temperature value every 1 minute, then we can write the statements inside the loop function where it will read the current temperature value, process it, then it will sleep for 1 minute. Then after 1 minute, once again the loop will run. So automatically, so Arduino will keep on looping the functionality of reading the temperature and processing it. So all those things we'll write in the loop method. So the few other useful methods which we have in Arduino is digital write, analog write, digital read, analog read, if statements, and serial communication. So digital write is writing a value to the particular output port. Analog write is sending the analog output to particular port. So digital read will read the digital data from a given input port. So if and all are the programming constructs. Analog read will read the analog input from the required port. And then serial communication, so that is useful in transmitting the data. So let us see the programming features one by one. So comments. So there are so the programming in Arduino is similar to C programming. So comments will be of either a single line or multi-line. So all the comment lines in the source code will be skipped before the compilation. Then, yeah. So this is the IDE. The editor in the Arduino IDE look like this. So here, once we create a new source file, by default, some of the comments will be there, and there will be two methods, that is setup and loop. So some of the commands, let us see. One is pin mode. So pin mode is a default inbuilt function. It takes two parameters, pin number and a parameter whether that particular pin will act as an input or output. So before using any of the ports, we must configure them, which means we must declare whether that particular pin number will act as an input or an output port. So all these things can be written in a setup method. So here, for example, pin mode 13 comma output, which means pin number 13 will act as a output port. Then another API, that is digital write. So for this also we shall pass a pin number followed by high or low. So whenever we are writing a digital data, so digital data means it is in binary, either 0 or 1. So we shall write digital write 13 comma high. So then what happens? For port number 13, whatever device is connected, high data will be sent. Then the very important delay method. So delay method will take one parameter, that is the time in milliseconds. So here delay of 2500 means it is a 2.5 seconds. So for 2.5 seconds, the execution will stop or halt. So all the commands in Arduino are case sensitive. So in setup method, uh, we will set or configure all the input ports and the sensors, actuators if any connected. So and this setup method is executed only once, and that too in the beginning. Whereas the loop method will get the information from the sensor and send the command to the required actuators. So and this will be a continuous process, and the program will never terminate unless it is externally triggered to do so. So next let us see how to set up. So here, as I mentioned earlier, in the setup section, it is used for assigning inputs and outputs. For example, if we are connecting the motor, LED, motion sensor, temperature sensor, gas sensor or whatever, so all of them are connected to input ports. So we should declare all those ports as a input port. And if we are connecting any output devices like motor, LEDs, so all those things should be declared as an output. So based on the sensor or the actuator, so initially the ports must be configured. So in order to configure a port, we should use the pinmod command. So just like this, so we have already discussed this pinmod. So here the port number 9 is declared as a output port. Then within the loop, so what we can do is, so we are writing the values. So what is connected to pin number 9? An LED, right? So LED is connected to pin number 9. So we will declare pin number 9 as a output port because LED is a output device. Then in the loop, what we are doing is digital write pin number 9 with high value, which means for pin number 9, whatever device is connected, high value will be sent. So for pin number 9, we have connected the LED. So high means now LED will turn on, which means LED will start glowing. So then what we are calling is a delay method. So 1 second delay. After 1 second of delay, again we are writing to the same pin number 9. So that too with the value low. Now when a low value is passed to LED, it will turn off. Then once again, we will have a delay of 1 second. After this, once again, the execution will start from the beginning, which means here continuously the LED that is connected to pin number 9 will be turning on and off in an interval of 1 second. So we shall stop here for today's class. Tomorrow we shall see the remaining part of Arduino programming.